Good morning, TCA family. We are so excited to be here. Really excited about this training. One of our coaches, Mark Anthony, this guy has done it all in terms of mobile home investing. And he came to us and said, you know what? I know I did a training based on mobile homes plus land investing in our mobile home mastermind group for our accelerators, but I really think that I should take it another level and share this to anyone that's out in the field. So this training is going to be about mobile homes on land, really talking about the strategies that Coach Mark has been successful with. So this training is for those individuals that are already mobile home investing in parks, and you come across leads that can be land plus mobile home package deals.
Yeah, but just to give you guys a heads up, this is not necessarily the step on exactly how to do these deals. Mark actually does his own trainings in our Accelerator Mastermind group where he gives you exactly the step-by-steps. We just don't have time to go through all of that today, but he is going to give you a demo on exactly how to find hot areas and how to find the values of these homes. And he's going to also give you his best top tips on what he's learned over doing hundreds of mobile homes on land deals where he's moved the mobile home to the land, put it there, fixed it, and sold it as a package. So we're excited about that.
And again, guys, we're coming to you in our own humble knowledge, humble experience. We just want to share as we go. We got some really cool things cooking up for all of our TCA students. We got a huge milestone about to hit with all of our coaches. We're finally sending out our first marketing campaign for land. All of our coaches, as well as Samara and myself, we all partner together. So as we continue to go, as we continue to move forward, we're just going to be sharing information as we go. So you guys are watching real-time transformation with TCA, and our coaches are fired up. We're fired up. Students in their closing deals. We just want to keep sharing this information. So when you guys come across these opportunities, you know exactly what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mark is a big piece of the puzzle there. He's got the most experience out of all of us as far as selling these mobile homes with land. So before we jump in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Give us a like if you are getting
like button
value
right now
from this video, or if you're excited about this video, because I know so many of you guys have been asking about mobile homes with land. And so this is just the very intro of what we're going to be doing with that. And Mark is going to have many more trainings to come. So without further ado, let's bring on Mr. Coach Mark Anthony.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Coach, how you doing?
Good, man. Thank you. Appreciate you guys for having me here.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate you being here.
Excited. This is huge.
Yeah, no, we're really excited you've been doing some awesome trainings in our accelerator group where I'm like, man, so many people are like, Mark, thank you.
They call you Yoda. You don't know.
They call you the Yoda. But, just to give, some people that don't really know you, just a little bit of background, like, why did you get into mobile homes with land? Like, how did you even get into this niche? Because this is something that not a lot of people are talking about or teaching.
Absolutely. So it all started actually back almost with one of my very first homes. I had trouble selling it. It was in a 55+ park, and it was during the summertime in Arizona, where there's a lot of snowbirds. And it took me about 3 or 4 months to sell it. And finally, I found a buyer who wanted it moved, and that was the first home I had that had to be moved from there. And after that, I got connected with movers that I used for that deal, and he was moving homes all the time. So I started to learn a little bit more about where these homes were going, and I was really realizing that all these mobile homes that he was working on, almost every week, were mobile homes going to land. And I realized that there was a huge demand for people to have homes that are on land here in this market in Arizona. So I started grabbing land and got into moving them to land. From there on out, that's really all I've done.
Now, man, we know you have a lot of experience and you're really an open book. I want to know, why did you decide to step up and take this to another level and share this to even more people outside of the accelerators?
Just because of how big of an impact it was here in this market, not only just for investors, but for the community as well. It was such a huge demand for people to have affordable housing options, things that they could afford, where they could own a home and the land together, and that people in mobile home parks were being harassed and struggling with raised rents, and a lot of people that in parks can't afford to own property. They don't want to rent apartments. They want their privacy, but there's really no way for them to have any other options. This was creating options for people on both spectrums and really being able to serve more of the community.
Yeah, I
And
love
being
it.
able to do that in more places other than just here. I knew if it worked so well here, I knew there's other places that need this too.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. I mean, even in our own business, when we're working with mobile homes and communities, and most of our students are telling us this, that they're getting a lot of people asking about mobile homes with land. Like they want these mobile homes with the land because does make it real estate. And we'll go into that in a minute.
Yeah, and again, if you're consistently putting out marketing, usually for us at least, usually somewhere between every 20 to 30 deals, there's usually an opportunity in there where there's a mobile home on land that needs to be moved, or you can take advantage of the entire package. What about you, Mark? For every, how many deals do you come across a mobile home land package deal?
Almost about half of them, I would say. Half of them are ones that have mobile homes that are already there and they're old, or that need to be rehabbed or removed and replaced. And then the other half is ones that are pieces of land that used to have a mobile home there in the past, years ago. Now it's just a vacant piece of land, but the utilities are already there, and it's just waiting for a new mobile home to be moved there.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you guys tuning in, we're going to be talking specifically about how Mark has been able to take advantage of this. This guy's doing 2 to 3 deals per week. When you talk about everything he's doing, mobile homes in parks, moving mobile homes on land. So have your pens and pads ready. This guy is truly a Yoda in this niche.
Yeah, absolutely. But before we go into Mark's training, we're going to go into that in just a minute. Make sure you guys are dropping your questions below. I know we get questions about mobile homes with land all the time. So now's the time to ask them. Drop your questions below, and also drop where you're located, because our demo is going to be very location specific. So start dropping where you're located right now. And go ahead.
Yeah, I'm about to say tune in until the end, because Mark's going to be doing a special training on how he's going to show you how to find a hot spot in your area so you can start recognizing opportunities right away.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just before we get into the training, there's a lot of people that may know about mobile homes with land, but maybe they just don't understand the benefit of actually going and pursuing this. Can you just go into a couple of the benefits of, that you've seen compared to, mobile homes in parks and mobile homes on land?
Yeah, one of the biggest benefits is how it opens more doors to more buyers, for being that they have a lot more opportunities to purchase that home. Being that it is real estate and on land, there's a lot more financing options and banks available who will help them be able to purchase homes. Mm-hmm. So that alone opens the pool to way more people to have access to. Two, it creates, if you wanted to keep it as rental properties, a real estate portfolio. With real estate as assets, and you can build generational wealth here in America with rental portfolios and a bunch of tax advantages and tax incentives of being a real estate investor and owning rental property as an asset in America.
I love it. Yeah. And once you put the land with the mobile home, now it's real estate. Now the appreciation is there. Now that long-term wealth is there, bigger profits. Like you said, more buyers, more financing options. So this brings in a whole lot of benefits.
Now we're going to give you a chance to set up. I know you got a solid presentation here, but I want to know where you guys are coming in from. We're going to get into a couple of the comments here. Let's see who we got coming in. Go ahead and drop your comments below. We're going to go ahead and bring it in. Let's see, straight off the top. Janet says, good morning.
Good morning.
Ready to learn. So are we. Coach Boyd is in here. Let go. Fire flames. Let's get it. Let's see who else we got in here. We got Arizona, Austin, Texas in the building. This is going to be great.
Yeah, Texas is a great market. Grass Valley, California. Good morning, Tara. Connecticut, good morning. We love you too, Max. Good morning, everyone. Thank you.
Get a couple more up in here.
More Texas. Texas is a hot market, especially when you're talking about the land. So you guys will definitely want to stay to the end. We're going to do some demos in Texas. So
are you guys coming to Boston, Massachusetts? Hey, man, as soon as all this, is over, when it's safe to just travel and, get inside and do personal events, it's definitely up our alley. So we can't wait. We'll get into a couple more here. Brandon Boyd, of course, North Texas. We got Georgia in here.
Yep.
Oregon,
yes,
Georgia, California, Jacksonville, Florida, Austin, Texas. So many more. So many. Michigan, South Carolina, Chicago, Dallas. more Illinois, a lot more coming in, guys. But
I'm excited to do this demo. It's
yeah,
gonna be fun.
yeah,
There's
for
a
sure,
lot of cool areas
for
in
sure.
here.
We want to respect your time, so I'm gonna bounce it back over to Mark.
Yeah, so give us 1 minute. We're gonna go ahead and take this off, and we're gonna go ahead and jump right into your presentation, Mark. So jump on in, and we'll be here to ask any questions as we go.
All right, perfect. Thank you, guys. So when it comes to actually manufactured homes in America, most people don't know the actual numbers, and they're usually looking for those. So there's over 40,000 mobile home parks across America, and over 1/3 of all mobile homes are in parks, meaning that the other 2/3 of all the mobile homes in America, over 70% of mobile homes in America are actually on land, and the other 30% are ones that are in parks. So majority of mobile homes are on their own land, and these are numbers from census last year, from May 2020. These are the numbers from May 19 to May 2020 of mobile homes coming from factories or coming from dealerships and being moved. Brand new homes. These numbers do not include used homes being moved. These are all new homes directly from the factory or from the dealership, and these are homes being delivered each day. And just looking at those numbers, just know that 2/3 of all those homes are going to land. So in places like Carolina, both north and south, where they have 300 homes being moved a year, about 100 of those homes are going to mobile home parks, and 200 of those homes are going to land. Just where you can see the balance scale of where mobile homes are really going in America. And here are the 3 reasons why. These are 3 of the most common strategies with mobile homes on land. The first one, be it the good old-fashioned real estate fix and flip, right? Finding an old piece of property that's distressed and it needs some work, and fixing it up and getting it all nice and pretty again to be able to either 1, sell it, right? 2, or maybe finance it. And this is where the great part of having land involved with real estate is being able to finance. You can either 1, own or finance it, which a lot of people are familiar with mobile homes and parks, but 2, doing bank financing and allowing the bank to cash you out and the bank taking over the note and allowing them to finance it to a seller, because there's real estate involved and the bank can back that. And there's more banks that are open to financing mobile homes when they're involved with land. And then of course, you being able to rent that mobile home, knowing that you have the real estate, you can rent that property for the rest of your life. You can pass it down to your children. Real estate is an asset in America that is designed and built to build wealth with. The second one is another option that people are very familiar with, especially when it comes to mobile homes and parks, which is wholesaling and helping motivated sellers connect with active buyers. And I know Jay and Samara, you guys have had some pretty cool experiences with this. What's a great story you think you guys can think of where you've helped a really motivated seller?
Yeah, man. Early on in our investing career, we came across an individual that was really, really distressed. Her husband had just passed away. She actually had lost her job as well. So she wanted to go and move out of state and go stay, with her daughter, just because there was so much stress and turmoil going on. So we get this opportunity. We didn't know what to do. We're so focused on, mobile homes in parks, but we know she wanted $25,000 for this home. So the first thing I did was like, let me go back to my real estate investing one-on-one. I contacted some realtors we know. Luckily, we were friends with a couple back then, and they started giving us, comps in the area. And they also gave us a list of investors in the area that were doing fix and flips with mobile homes on land. So we filtered it down. We actually got down to about 2 or 3 different investors who were looking for opportunities like this. You want to go through the numbers? And
yeah, so we picked it up for $25,000, and then we sold it to another investor for $35,000. So we made a $10,000 fee for wholesaling this home. And the investor, he was really the one that we ended up selling it to. He was really focused on single family homes, but then he really started seeing the opportunity with mobile homes on land and how quickly he can fix these homes up and how much in demand they were. And so he was like switching his direction of what he was doing. And he's like, any of these you have, send them to me. I'm willing to fix them up, because I know I have so many buyers, especially in the Spanish market, that are going to jump on these deals, even if they're not like fixed up to perfect condition. So just to give you guys a quick background, that, those deals are there as well.
Yeah, and it's great. Again, we didn't have to use any of our own money. We used the buyer's money. The seller walked away with her $25,000. She was very happy. We walked away with $10,000. We didn't have much knowledge, so we had to learn as we go. But we just wanted to say there's a ton of opportunity here when you're talking about wholesaling the entire package. There's a lot of investors that just focus on mobile homes with land. You just have to do your research to find them. And we'll throw it back to you, Coach.
Absolutely. And I'm one of those people, because one of my two favorite strategies with mobile homes and land is either relocating existing mobile homes that are in parks and putting them on a piece of land, or replacing old mobile homes that are already on land and putting newer ones there to improve the value. Mainly in the case when they're pieces of property that have single wides on them, and upgrading that piece of property and putting a bigger double wide on it and increasing the square footage. So here are 3 ways that I use to identify the hottest markets across the country, knowing that 70% of all these mobile homes in America are going to land. I look for the best markets in the country to look for. So one of the first things I do is I hop on Zillow and I change the filters to recently sold manufactured homes. And I look for the areas that have the highest density of recently sold mobile homes on land, and especially in areas where the land is dirt cheap itself, where vacant land by itself, there's areas in this country where land for an acre of land, it's 200, 150,000 for the acre of land. Maybe it's waterfront, maybe it's beachfront, maybe it's mountainside, who knows, right? But and then there's areas where you can get a piece of land for a few $1,000s, right? So I'm looking for areas where I can create the biggest profit margins, of course. Very simple, right? And finding land very cheap. And the biggest reason for that is for the ARV. And a lot of people who are familiar with real estate may know ARV is after repair value. But in the mobile home world, I like to use the term ARV for after relocation value by the price per square foot. So when I'm looking for areas, I'm looking for areas where I can get at least $85 per square foot after the mobile home is relocated to that piece of land. Knowing that I know I'm able to get mobile homes in certain markets at certain prices, and being able to flip that almost and creating a larger price per square foot once it's on land. And some of my favorite areas to find are vacant lots in areas that there already has been mobile homes there in the past, meaning that there's already utilities, there's already a septic tank possibly, or city sewer, or there's already a well or city water. Right? There's already mobile homes, utilities available. There just hasn't been a mobile home there in quite some time, and it's waiting for a new one, right? Or areas that already have mobile homes on land. If you're out in rural areas, out in farm or country areas further out from the city, and there's just pieces of property in between those that don't have utilities but are waiting and make good farm properties for areas just outside of town, right? So here's an example of a deal I did here in Arizona. This is in northern Phoenix area. So this was an opportunity where it was a mobile home lot that already had a mobile home there in the past. It had the utilities. It just didn't have a mobile home there currently. And the land was $50,000 down, and the owner was willing to seller finance it with $10,000 down. So I was able to put $10,000 down to lock up that piece of property under contract, right? And then I found a mobile home really cheap. And this is one of the greatest parts of TCA, is being able to find these opportunities for mobile homes specifically, and knowing how to identify them when you see them. But I saw this beautiful mobile home, and I was able to get it from the seller for $6,000 because they were in a situation where they couldn't stay in that mobile home anymore. They were moving out of town, and they needed the money to move more than they couldn't afford both rent and moving, and they had to make a decision between one or the other. So we were able to get that home for $6,000. It was a 14 by 66, 1966 home. And with the transport and install and permits included, we moved it to this lot down here on the bottom right. And that's the before and after. The picture on the left is the mobile home when it was in the park, and the picture on the right is when it's on that piece of property right above it in the sky view. And we were able to get that mobile home sold on that piece of property at a price of $152 per square foot. So with a 14 by 66 foot home, that's $140,000 on that deal, which is about an average price in that area. Homes in that area sold anywhere from $125 a square foot upwards to $180 a square foot. So I found a price right around the middle of that, especially knowing that this one was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, single wide. Instead of a double wides are more preferred in this area. But this was such a great deal in a new home. It was perfect. It fit on the lot perfectly, which comes into the helpful tips to know. So this is how I was able to discern that this piece of land was a good option. There was no mobile home there. So the first thing you want to know is zoning. If there's a mobile home already on the property, the first thing you need to know is if that mobile home is affixed or unaffixed. Depending on where you are, they could call that different things. In some states, they call it mobilized or demobilized. Basically, all it means is that this mobile home has a surrendered title and it's permanently attached to the piece of land as one property, one tax account. It's real estate. That would mean it's affixed. Unaffixed would mean that it still has a title. There's a land deed and a mobile home title, and the two are separate. When it's affixed, they're combined and they're set together as one. So if there's already a mobile home there, you need to know if that mobile home is affixed or unaffixed. And that way you can decipher whether or not you can move that mobile home and sell it and put a new one there, or you can just upgrade it, or even sell that home and replace it with a newer one. And if you were going to sell that one and replace it with a newer one, you would need to know the setbacks and easements of that property. So calling your county zoning department, and they'll let you know how far back from the property line you can put and build or put a mobile home or put decks and awnings. There's only so close to your property line that you can get. So knowing your setbacks and easements, because I've had people who've already owned land but want to buy mobile homes to put on their land, and there's a lot of times that they want to buy it and they call the city and they come to find out that that home is just too big for their land. It might be too long, might be too wide, it can't fit. So to save you from the trouble, the first thing you want to do is learn the setbacks and easements of that property to see what size home can fit on that property. And that will, again, help you be able to find your after relocation value of that. And then also with the zoning is learning the mobile home installation permits, how much the costs are to get the mobile home installed. One of the great ways to do this is by contacting your county housing department or your state housing department. And they usually have a list of mobile home installers that are licensed contractors, and calling those people and asking how much they charge for permits. The next thing you need to know is if the land has utilities or not, if this piece of property has a city water, or if it needs to be drilled a well, or if one of your neighbors has a well where you can share that well to be able to hook up your mobile home and be able to pass the mobile home installation and get the permits, as well as the septic and the sewer. Depending on where you are, you might need to install a septic tank, or there might be city sewer involved. If you're more inland, the property that I had in my last example, it had city sewer and city water, so I didn't need to install a well or a septic tank. All I had to do was the installation permits that hooked the home up to those utilities. So you'll need to know if you'll need to drill a well or install a septic tank. Those can be huge extra costs in the thousands of dollars. Before you even get started, you're going to want to know those things when it comes to looking at a piece of property and figuring out an exit strategy on what you're going to do with it. And as well as knowing your buyers. Do your buyers already own land and they just need a mobile home that can be moved, or do your buyers need the land as a package as well? And how much land are those buyers looking for? Are they buyers that are looking for acre properties, 5-acre properties? Or are they looking for something in town that's really close and they don't even need land? It could just be a 1/2 acre or a 1/4 acre, just somewhere that they can place their home and be in relativeness to the city. They don't need a big farm, right? So knowing your buyers and knowing their needs and their demand to be able to serve your community the best, which creates the most opportunities for you, right? So I know there's probably a lot of questions. I went over a lot of stuff very fast. I want to take a second to go back over and get some of these questions answered in the
Yeah, man. First and foremost, man, I just want to put a quick pause, man. I just want to say thank you, man. This is very, very valuable information that you're giving away for free, so I hope you guys were taking notes. We're going to get into a couple of the questions here, but we just wanted to show our appreciation to you, man. This is really great stuff.
Absolutely. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. We'll bring them up, as many as we can. And also, because right after this Q&A, Mark is going to actually go into a demo on how to find your hot market, what he's looking for, how to value the homes. Drop your zip codes below. Drop your zip code or any zip code that you're interested in working in that has mobile homes on land. We can pull a couple of those and show you how to do the demo.
And of course, if you guys are getting value so far, let us know by hitting the like button. We just want to make sure you guys are getting value as we go. So hit that like button. Let's get into a couple of the questions here. Maria said, how do we find out what's the home's value? Is there a website you guys recommend? Go ahead and take this away, Coach.
Absolutely. Is that so? She's asking for the mobile home with the land's value. Perfect. So
yes,
we're going to go over this in the live demo. But the first way is I always go to Zillow. It has the most current data, and it's the largest pool of data. A lot of people use Zillow. It's a very trusted source. So I use Zillow to find the mobile homes that recently have been sold. They have different filters on that website, which we'll go over here in the live demo, that you can look at homes that are for sale actively. And there's another filter where you can check for homes that have recently been sold. And I look for all the homes that recently been sold and look at their sold price and compare that to how many square feet that home is and figure out how many dollars per square foot. So when I went over my deal that I did in my slides above, where I showed that I sold it for $152 per square foot, when I'm looking at value when it comes to mobile homes on land, I'm looking at how much I can sell in each area by the square foot, because the mobile home we can change. It's not like we have to build a house and we're stuck with a certain blueprint, right? Depending on the setbacks and easements that the county says on how close to the property line we can get, determines how big of a home we can put on that property, right? More square feet will help us determine the value of that home, knowing the average, right? In that area, the average home sells for this many dollars per square foot. You're like anywhere from like I said, at least $85 per square foot and up is kind of the magic number. Anything under that, it's really hard to make a lot of profits when buying the land, moving homes, or doing rehabs. There's not that much room. You get that room for profits when it's over $85 a square foot.
Perfect, man. Another question here. What are the costs to relocate?
So it really depends on areas. Places in the southeast, in the south, like Alabama, Georgia, a lot of times it can be as anywhere from about $2,000 to $8,000. Places in Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, California can be a little bit higher, sometimes up to maybe $4,000 to $12,000. It really ranges, and as well as ranges with the land. This is why the due diligence, the 3 tips for going over the utilities and learning if there's city sewer or a septic tank or needing a well or city water. Because those 2 things, if you needed to add, drill a well or get a well from a neighbor, if you're way out in the country, say you find a property that's 2 or 3 acres and they want a mobile home on there, right? And the closest well is to your neighbor's property, 3 acres away, and you have to share that well, and you have to dig a trench or a water line between here and there, or drill your own well, or install your own septic tank. Those are where those prices for relocating mobile homes can vary. So it's really important before even moving a home to land, doing your due diligence. The 3 things that you needed to know were to know the zoning, to know the size of the mobile home that you can put there based on the setbacks and easements, as well as the utilities, if there is utilities and if there isn't utilities, because that's going to make a big difference for the people who install your mobile home, and what it's going to cost them to be able to service you.
Cool, man. We'll get to one more question so we can get the back end of this training in.
We'll bring it back to questions at the very end. So keep dropping your questions below, guys.
Will you need a license to buy and sell trailers or land?
This is a good question.
No, you don't need a license. If the only time you would need a license for buying and selling mobile homes on land, if you were going to work for a licensed brokerage and you're going to be a real estate agent. Other than that, as a real estate professional, as just an investor, all you would either need is a social security number, or if you wanted to operate under a business, you could operate under a business license or an LLC, which is highly recommended when dealing with real estate. So you would
Perfect,
need your
perfect,
own
perfect.
business.
Perfect, Mark. Well, we really appreciate you answering questions. I know there's a lot more questions coming in, but we want to jump right into the demo. So go if you want to go ahead and get that ready. I'm going to bring that back up for you. And then I know there's a lot of zip codes being dropped in the chat right now. I know you have one that you want to just do just to kind of give people an overview.
Yeah, let's
but
start with
then
that
we're
one
gonna
first.
randomly choose a zip code from all of the zip codes that are listed to kind of do some more research. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Perfect. So here we go. And you've got your Zillow pulled up. So did you want to walk us through how you go about doing this?
Absolutely. So the first thing I do is change the filters here on this top area. You can see what's for sale right now and what has recently been sold. So the first thing I do is I want to know what has already been sold. Where are people actually paying for these? And you can change this filter on how recently they've been sold in the past 36 months, 24 months. To get the most active data, you could probably do about the past 6 months, right? And you can see different areas. If I zoom out, way out in Texas, you can kind of see where there's really thick areas compared to Amarillo, to Fort Worth and Dallas, right? And really zoning in on areas that have the most. That's where you're going to collect the most data to be able to make proper decisions. And this is a really active areas where people are buying a lot too, right? So I'm looking for the listings that both show the 3 bedrooms, the 2, and the number of bathrooms and the number of bedrooms along with the square footage. Because the first thing I'm doing is finding the price per square foot. How many dollars is each square foot worth? The size of the land kind of comes second, but for this home in particular here, if you were to take $155,000 and divide it by 1,900 square feet, we would find that this home sells for about $81 a square foot, which is right around our target area of $85 a square feet and up, right? And you would want to cross-reference it and see what other homes in this area are like, and finding that average price per square foot in this area. So this home would be $90,000, and it's a 1,400 square foot home. This home would be $62 a square foot. So now we're ranging from $81 over here to $62 over here, and it's really finding those areas where you can get $85 and up, and finding those magic numbers. Because when you include some of your moving costs, if you're buying the land, whether you're buying the land on payments or it's already a mobile home that's already existing on land and you're replacing it, the land costs are going to be involved, and you're going to have to put money down on land too, unless you can find creative ways, which we go over a lot of that in the accelerator program as well. But being able to bring the two together where you can come into deals less than about $40,000. Like a deal like this would be $150,000 for a 1,600 square foot home. Finding the average price per square foot is $93 at this property here, and that's perfect for our area for being $85 and up. So finding areas where, one, people are selling and buying a lot, and but two, where the numbers will work, and $85 and up. You can always almost make those numbers work. Even if you have to buy land, buy a mobile home, and move and install it, you should be able to do all those things within about $40,000. So the goal is to make at least to double your money almost every time, to be able to fund repaying you initially and then paying you to do another deal just like it, to build scale, right? So that's one of the big things of moving these mobile homes on land, is to being able to scale faster, right? By creating larger profit margins and being able to build a portfolio, a real estate portfolio, faster than you would with traditional real estate, fixing and flipping homes, because the profit margins aren't as big. It's hard to hard to do that way. So what I'd want to see is different areas where some of you guys are at, and seeing if we can help identify areas that would work.
Let's pick some random ones. We've got a lot of zip codes and we have not done any research. So let's just see. Let's go live and see. This is one. Mr. Grit said 32205.
32205, Washington. $32205, right?
Yes.
Didn't work. 32205. I'm gonna try different zip code. 04. For some reason that zip code doesn't work. Maybe someone in Dallas. That's in Washington, though. I know that zip code area, so. Zoom in.
We can
move down.
give you a.
Yeah, can we try another zip code? For some reason that one.
Okay, let's try this one. 77493. We have no idea where any of these zip codes are. So that might have helped to put the location, but curious to see if we get any good ones.
Perfect. So manufactured homes, last 6 months. We're going to remove the 6-month boundary, 36 months. Let's remove the boundary and zoom out. So nothing in that zip code specifically. Where is this? Brookshire, Texas.
Okay.
If we were to zoom out a little bit and go a little bit north, near Magnolia.
Wow. Yeah.
And Todd Mission, there's a lot.
So Mark, is what you're saying, basically when you're putting in your zip code, kind of like be open to a more, distant range, like look around, the entire state and see where it is.
Yeah, you want to make sure, and especially if you're looking to sell, if one of your exit strategies is a sell, you're definitely going to want to look for areas that are getting sales. But if you're looking for areas that are rent, if you want to rent properties, that's another thing that you can do. Is switch it to rentals, right? And see if there's a lot of rental properties in this area, but you would have to know that area well enough to know if you can rent a mobile home. So it's not going to show here on Zillow. So I always look for sale, and I'm always looking for areas where I can collect a lot of data in. That way I know my numbers as an investor, and if I'm partnering with other investors or if I'm using a business loan and I'm raising capital to do these investments, I need a lot of data to be able to satisfy lenders, investors, right? To pull these numbers together. So in areas where I can't get a lot of data, right, it's going to be a lot harder.
Right.
Hey Mark, let's try another zip code, 30016.
Yeah, Priscilla gave 30016. Georgia has a lot of mobile homes on land. I know that for sure. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
This is a little better.
Remove the boundary. Let's see if we got here. So the big thing too is the reason why I like the areas that have a lot of data, because you'll come across homes that won't show how many bedrooms and bathrooms there is. Like this one, it just says 720 square feet, 1 bathroom. You could guess it's probably 2-bedroom, 1 bath just by experience of knowing mobile homes and square footage. It's probably like a 12 by 60, and that probably not a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. They really don't make those, right? But the more data you can collect, the easier it is. So like down here, a little bit south of Georgia, or a little bit south of where is 30016, near Covington, maybe. Just a little bit further down here near Monticello, there's tons of homes being sold. Just being sold in general. You can get stuff up here in 30016. But let's look at this. If we were to narrow down this time frame, I know Jay always asks me, how many days in the market type of question.
Do you usually look at that, Mark? Days on market?
Yeah. I look at the days on market and how recently homes have been sold. So like in the last 3 months, is only one home has been sold, right? So if you're doing these in investment properties, you probably are going to want to make sure that you get these homes sold within 3 months. Just an assumption, right? So you're really going to want to make sure you're finding areas too where you can get homes sold fast, right? So you can move on to your next deal, right? Especially if you're doing these fix and flips, wholesales. Money loves speed, and you want to be the best thing about these mobile home deals is a lot of them are so much faster than doing traditional real estate and regular fix and flips. And you can get in and out of deals a lot faster and move homes faster and be able to scale, you know, your net worth in your business, your real estate business.
No, that's great, Mark. I know we kind of went through some of the demo. I know there's a lot of questions coming in. I want to make sure to respect your time. So we're going to jump right into the questions. I'm sure people are will be able to kind of play around with Zillow and learn a lot from what you had.
Solid stuff, man. If you guys want to lock in with us, you can always apply. We always leave a link below this video. We also offer, one-on-one sessions with all of our coaches. So you can actually lock into their calendar and book 30-minute sessions for any of these type of opportunities that you come across. We offer this to all of our accelerator students because you're going to need some help with this. And, why not go to the Yoda himself?
Definitely. So we'll bring in a couple of the questions that have come in. I think there's some really, really good ones that I've seen. So this is one that I know a lot of people ask. Can land be subdivided for multiple homeowners? So in your experience, how does that work? And, have you done this yourself?
Absolutely. It really depends on your city and your county. They will tell you that question specifically. And if you can subdivide your land, say if you have multiple acres, they'll tell you how much you can subdivide it and how many mobile homes that you can fit on that piece of property. So that's another thing that was in the 3 tips in the slides was through going through zoning with the setbacks and easements, and they'll let you know where on your property and how big of a mobile home you can fit on that. They'll also tell you how much you can subdivide that property. So you really want to work with your county zoning and development department, getting really familiar with the people with that office, their processes, and being really comfortable with just working with your county and through the permitting process. So you're knowledgeable. So when you're working with your contractors or the people who are helping you facilitate these deals, that you're well educated and versed on what's going on as well.
Awesome, man. Brad says, when you relocate, are you making them affixed to the land?
Absolutely. I always affix them to the land because then they can be real property. And if I'm keeping them as rental properties at that point, then I can go and use them as leverage as my business. Those are assets that my business has, and I can create other lines of credit or loans based on my business's assets, right? That's one of the biggest parts of having land in real estate is being able to scale a real estate portfolio and business.
Perfect, man. I love it. I got another question. We'll probably get into 2 more here. Let's see if there was one that was really good. I want to see if I can find it. Here we go. Don't you piss off park management when you are moving the homes out of the park? And what happens when you encounter a park that operates their first right of refusal? So that's a 2-part question for you.
Good question.
So I'll start with the second part. Second part, I always provide the park with the first right of refusal and the opportunity. But when I do my first right of refusal, I always include with the purchase offer the cost to move and install the home as well. If the park really wants that home, they'll pay for all of it. If they don't, they'll let me take it, and it's fair and square that they expressed that they didn't want that home. And a lot of times they're more than glad to let me take those homes out, and they want to put brand new 2020 models in anyways.
Perfect.
So definitely working with the park. We're not just jacking homes out of the park and moving them to land. We offer the park the first right of refusal first. If they really want the home there, they'll pay for it. It's an asset for them. If not, then you can take it and do what you need to do.
And when you're offering that first right of refusal, make sure you do some due diligence and check with your state to see what the time frame is. Usually, in certain states, it's usually 3 to 7 days. Some states or some parks will try to take 2 to 3 weeks to get back to you, and that's just not good business. So make sure you guys know what the time frame is. We'll get into one more question here. Sharon says, days on Zillow means the longer it's on, cheaper to buy.
In some cases, yeah, if they're struggling to get that property sold, you can definitely negotiate prices there. That in a lot of cases, that means that they have that property priced wrong. You're right. It can be cheaper to buy, or it just means that they're not selling the right type of property for people that are desirable for people.
Perfect, Mark. Well, we really appreciate you, man. I know we've got more and more trainings that we're going to be doing. If you guys are getting value out of this and you want more in-depth, step-by-step trainings on mobile homes with land and how Mark puts these packages together, definitely give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comments below if you want more of these trainings. I know Mark already has a whole series of trainings that he's doing inside of our mobile home mastermind community for our accelerators.
Solid too. Solid.
Yeah,
way more into detail too. This is just amazing, man. I just appreciate you just sharing all
definitely.
This.
So we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Continue to leave your questions below. I'm sure Mark will kind of be looking in there if he can to answer any that he can as time goes on. And definitely drop below in the comments once this is posted your biggest takeaway from this training, because
that's going to help a lot.
Yeah, that's going to help a lot of other people learn. It's going to help you learn.
Yeah.
And I know there was a lot that we covered. And so ask your questions. Put your takeaways.
Plus, talking about more trainings in the future, that information, that data is going to help Mark, help us put together, more intimate trainings like this in the future.
Absolutely. So if you guys are interested in joining our accelerator program, learning more about mobile homes in parks and mobile homes on land, we'll leave a link below this video so you can apply to join the family and to join the team. And Mark, thank you. We really, really appreciate all of the gems that you shared, all the diamonds and gold that you're throwing at everyone. I know a lot of people's minds are like, whoa, did you see the numbers on the deal that he did recently? That was crazy.
And this is just a 30,000 foot overview, guys. Like it gets way more better once you're able to lock in more detail. So more of that to come.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you on the next one.